Well guys, happy Kirby week because we are once again getting some great Kirby content with Kirby and the Forgotten Land getting its DLC this Thursday with Starcross World. But later for that, I know you guys are sick and tired of direct talk and stuff because man, it's been so long since we had one. You guys can wait a second though because Kirby comes out this week. We'll be talking nonstop about him, and also Silksong the next week. We'll be covering that as well. But I want to talk about directs right now because it is absolutely going insane. This weekend we got lots of information about when to expect the Nintendo Direct that we've been waiting for and exactly when to expect it because we now have a rumored date to look forward to. Not only that, we are getting information that might hint at getting 3 possible Nintendo Directs in total in the month of September, which sounds insane, but it's not as insane as how Nintendo has been this year. So nothing really surprises me about their marketing and about their planning. So I'm expecting whatever, you know what I mean? But once again, take everything with a grain of salt. These are just rumors at the moment, but some of these sources are very, very accurate, and let's get into it. Now, Switchforce is a Nintendo YouTuber and was 100% correct about his last leak. He never really leaks anything. He just talks about Nintendo news and actually was able to leak an indie world that happened a couple of weeks ago. He comes back again and actually has been hinting at a Nintendo Direct. Recently, he said that it was going to be on a date we didn't expect and also was going to be earlier than we thought. But I don't know about the whole earlier than we thought thing. That didn't really make sense because he comes out and says Nintendo tried to phone in an emergency about the missing Switch 2 games, but they accidentally dialed 912, obviously being September 12th. Now, what's so interesting about this is this date tells us so much information, you gotta really sit and look at it. For one, we hardly ever, and I mean ever, have Nintendo Directs on a Friday. The last time I think we've ever had anything like this was the Nintendo Switch 1 presentation back in January of 2017. I believe that was on a Friday. It was something different. I can't remember. I tried looking it up. I couldn't really find a lot of information on it, so you guys are gonna have to clarify that for me. But yeah, we normally never have anything on Fridays. It's always Tuesday through Thursday. So that's what obviously Switchforce was talking about as an unusual date. Why would Nintendo do that though? There has to be a reason. Why would they choose to do Friday? Well, that tells me a couple things. They want to get the Direct out that week. They don't want to go further than that second week in September. Maybe for some type of game release or reveal right after it or something, some type of shadow drop or maybe something happening after. But I'm going to come back to this because there's still more information to talk about. We have Attack of the Backlog and Nash Weedle. And Attack of the Backlog hasn't had too much leak information, but just recently started leaking some stuff. And Nash Weedle has been leaking for a while, kind of been hot and cold in some areas, but so far this year has been very accurate with a lot of his information and sources. But they were on a podcast, and they both have their own individual sources that tells them that something is happening in September, and it's not the first week, and it's not the last week. And Nash Weedle even indicates that it's going to be the second week of September. Even the news site, Video Games Chronicle, had some type of tip telling them that there was going to be something happening in September. So it seems like everyone's getting this word that something is happening in September. There's some sources out there that's getting this information by the bulk. So yeah, I think we can expect around that second week of September, and it's looking like Friday, September 12th. But I do want to go back to Nash Weedle for a second. Nash Weedle claims that there's going to be 3 Nintendo Directs in September. One that's a general Direct, one that's a Mario's 40th Direct, and one focused on Metroid Prime 4. Now, we have the border of the puzzle, but we gotta figure out where we place all the pieces because it's just crazy. It could be anything. We do know it seems like our Nintendo Direct is gonna be within that second week, but what about the Mario's 40th and what about Metroid Prime 4? Now, let me be honest, these are all rumors still, so we don't know for sure if any of this is happening, but I'd assume that they would probably want to get the Mario 40th anniversary out sooner, considering the fact that they did that in 2020. It came out on the 3rd, which was a Thursday. I know the actual anniversary date is the 13th, which is Saturday this year, and maybe that's why they wanted to hurry up and get that Direct out before Saturday, and maybe they just didn't want to do it on the 11th because of 9/11, so they wanted to pay respects and actually do it the next day on the 12th because they couldn't do it a day earlier on Wednesday, the 10th, for some reason. I don't know, but I can see them doing a similar Mario's 40th anniversary the first week, a Nintendo Direct the second week, and the third week, a deep dive into Metroid Prime 4, especially since we're at the very end of the year. They're going to want to hurry up and get information out about that game as much much as they can. If it is coming out still like around the October, November timeframe, yeah, they're going to have a big, you know, kind of showcase for that game relatively soon. Shoot, if they wanted to, they could even have a Prime 4 Direct this week and then had the Mario Direct the first week and then a Nintendo Direct the second week and then just have the rest of the month empty. So I don't know. I would love a Prime 4 Direct this week. Nintendo surprise us. But I also think this order makes a lot of sense if you think of how they could actually intertwine these shows and actually lead one to the other. It could actually be extremely genius marketing ideas. Let me show you. What if at the very end of the Mario 40th Anniversary Direct, they tease the next 3D Mario and say, stay tuned next week or something like that. So that way we can be prepared for the next Nintendo Direct, where they can then at the very end reveal this 3D Mario in a general Nintendo Direct. But Nintendo already kind of teased it within their Mario Anniversary Direct. That could be something that works. And then obviously going from that Nintendo Direct to Metroid Prime, they could maybe show off a new fancy trailer to Metroid Prime 4 and then say tune in next week again, but this time for a Metroid Prime 4 Direct. Or let's say they switch those ideas around. Instead, they have Mario Anniversary as the last Direct. So we start off with a Metroid Prime 4 Direct the very first week of September. It shows us the game, gives us everything that we need to know, so that way they can get out everything before the Nintendo Direct. You know, Kirby Air Riders already had a Direct, then Metroid can have a Direct. Then there's really no reason to just like focus on one of the upcoming games for the holiday anymore. You can now show off tons of new games for 2026, and this Direct can be a lot bigger than ever. But start off September with the first week of a Metroid Direct, move into a General Direct the second week, and maybe the last thing revealed in the General Direct is that 3D Mario, and it's teased in a small way, and we get more about it in the next week's Direct, the final one being the Mario Showcase. So who knows how the order of these events are going to go. I still think the former makes more sense, to have Mario's Direct first, because it gets it out before that 13th date, which is its actual anniversary. That way we can start celebrating at the very beginning of September, getting excited for Mario stuff, hit us with a General Direct halfway through, and then finish the month with a Metroid Direct. That sounds like heaven. But is everything going to fall in line perfectly and happen like this? Probably not. As much as I hype myself up, I always get let down, but I'm trying to do better with that and just, you know, be happy with the things that we get. But it's hard, man, especially when I want 3D Mario so bad. I know, you guys know, I'm a freaking loon for this freaking Mario, for this plumber. This plumber has my freaking heart in a grasp. I can't let go. But thank you so much for tuning in. What do you guys think Nintendo's grand plan is here? Do you guys think these Nintendo Direct rumors are going to come true? Do you believe the sources, or are you like, we're just going to have to wait and see? Let me know in the comments down below, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe. You're going to want to stay tuned because we got a lot of fun stuff coming soon in the form of Kirby and the Forgotten Lands DLC coming. And also, don't forget, Silk Song comes out in a week, which we are going to be covering. I just started Hollow Knight, and I'm loving my playthrough so far. I shouldn't say just started because I'm already halfway through the game just about. I've been playing non-stop. So yes, we will be doing stuff with Silk Song as well, and I know you guys are going to be very excited about that. It's a little something different on the channel. But thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all have a blessed day, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.